It was the early 1940s, and while the world was embroiled in a rather serious conflict, World War II, one man in a quiet naval shipyard was about to make history in an entirely different way. That man was Richard James, a naval engineer who had no intention of creating one of the most iconic toys in human history. No, he was far too busy trying to solve the much less glamorous problem of stabilizing ship instruments with springs. Little did he know, a hilarious twist of fate was about to change everything. One fateful day, something magical happened as Richard toiled away at his desk, surrounded by blueprints, springs, and perhaps a half-eaten sandwich and some celery sticks. He accidentally knocked one of his tightly coiled springs off a shelf. You can imagine the scene, a moment of panic as he lunges to catch it, misses, and watches in awe as the spring defied gravity. Sort of. Instead of landing with a disappointing thud, the spring seemed to be possessed. It wobbled, wiggled, and then casually strolled down a stack of books as if it had places to be. Richard, blinking in disbelief, probably wondered if he was hallucinating from too much exposure to naval paint fumes. But no, the spring did indeed appear to have a life of its own. What started as a momentary failure in engineering soon turned into the most joyful accident in toy history. After realizing that his spring didn't need to stabilize anything, except the joy in children's hearts, Richard went home. He immediately told his wife Betty that they might be onto something more significant than battleships. Betty, proving that behind every great accidental inventor is a brilliant forward-thinking partner, saw the potential immediately. "Richard," she probably said with a knowing grin, "I think you've just invented a toy." They quickly set to work, and by work, I mean they sat there watching the spring waddle down the stairs for hours. After several more tests, throwing it down every set of stairs they could find, they decided to manufacture what would soon become the Slinky. Of course, this journey from shipyard spring to household name wasn't without its challenges. First, there was the problem of naming this wobbly wonder. Imagine the brainstorming sessions: springy thingy, metallic wiggle worm, precariously balanced coil. Fortunately, after trying out a few less than glamorous ideas, they settled on Slinky, a name that sounds as playful as the toy itself. Then came the biggest challenge: convincing people that what the world needed right now amidst the chaos of the 1940s was a worthless metal coil. Richard and Betty scraped together $500 and produced 400 Slinkies for a Gimbel's department store display in Philadelphia. And then, crickets. Hours went by with not a single Slinky sold, and Richard pondered smoking crack. Not really, but he was disappointed. But then, at the 11th hour, a child picked up the Slinky, and magic happened. Within 90 minutes, all 400 Slinkies were sold out. Richard likely stood there, wide-eyed and slack-jawed, realizing that his accidental invention had just become the next big thing. The Slinky was off and rolling, literally and figuratively. Since then, the Slinky has entertained generations of children, inspired countless staircase experiments, and baffled dogs who can't figure out why this thing keeps wiggling toward them. It's been to space, featured in movies, and even entered the National Toy Hall of Fame. Not bad for something that was originally designed to stop ship parts from vibrating. So, the next time you find yourself mindlessly watching a Slinky walk down the stairs, remember this: you're not just watching a toy in action. You're witnessing the legacy of a happy accident, a coil that started life in a shipyard, but found its true calling bouncing downstairs and into the hearts of children everywhere. This is how invention mistakes turned into masterpieces.